Now we're going to look at blending modes. I'm going to have you come up here and where it says normal in the layer panel, those are different types of blending modes. So click through each one to see what happens with your rectangle over the image. If I select dissolve, not a whole lot happening. If I select darken, you're going to start seeing how the shape interacts with the layer below it. Multiply, color burn, linear burn, darker color, lighten, screen, color dodge, linear dodge, lighter color, overlay, soft light, hard light, vivid light, linear light, pin light, hard mix, difference, exclusion, subtract, divide, hue, saturation, color, and luminosity. And we're going to go back up and we're going to select the hue layer. Now, I am going to reduce the opacity of the rectangle layer. So I'm going to select my slider, and what you're going to see as I start sliding it down is some of the colors start showing back up in my flower. So I'm going to put that at about 55%. Once again, I selected the hue blend mode and reduced the opacity of that layer down to 55%. Okay, just a couple more quick things. Now, let's say you want to be able to select something in your layers panel and you're not sure which layer it is. You can select Control or Command on the keyboard and click on that item within your document and it will automatically select the layer over in the Layers panel. Okay, I'm going to auto select a layer. In order to do so, all I have to do is hold down my Command on a Mac or Control key on a PC and click on that item. So I'm holding down my Command key. I'm going to click over here to the right in my ellipses so that I'm not clicking on the word flower. And you'll see over here to the right, it automatically selects that layer for me. So once again, if I hold down my Command or Control key and click on an item in my document, it will automatically select the layer for me. So I'm going to hold down my Command key since I'm on a Mac. That would be Control on a PC. And I am going to click on my first initial last name down here. And you'll see to the right, it automatically selected the layer G.G. Now, if I want to automatically select something over to the left, I can hold down my Command or Control key and click on my thumbnail. I'm going to click on this rectangle layer. So Command key held down, click on the thumbnail, and you'll see the little marching ants appear. And that means that it has selected that layer for me. Command D will deselect, or Control D will deselect. I can hold down the Command key, Control key on a PC, click on the ellipse layer, thumbnail, and you'll see the marching ants appear around the ellipse in the document. So that's an easy way to go about selecting things within your document. Command or Control D to deselect. Okay, so we just have a couple of things we need to rename right quick. This rectangle 1 layer, I am going to name Hue Rec. So you need to name this HUEREC. That tells me it's a hue blend mode rectangle shape. So once again, you're renaming the rectangle that you drew over the inner part of your image within the guidelines to HUE space REC. Hit enter. And then you're going to come down here and select layer 1. And you're going to rename that layer flower image. So double click on the word layer, type in flower space image, hit enter. And this fill layer down here, right under that, we're going to delete that layer. So click on fill layer and then click on the trash can down here at the bottom. And that is going to delete your layer. Now it's going to ask you, are you sure that you want me to delete this layer? And I'm going to select yes. I do not select don't show again because sometimes I accidentally hit the trash can and I want it to ask me each time if I'm sure if I want that layer to be deleted or not. So I'm going to select yes to delete it. And then I'm going to go up here and select File and Save to save my work. My one main piece of advice for you when using Photoshop or any graphic design software as you're going through doing your projects, save often. Sometimes computers will freeze up on you, you'll lose power, you never know what's going to happen. Save your projects often so that you don't have to start over if something like that happens to you. Alright, so just a couple of quick things. Next we're going to look at how you would go about selecting multiple or all layers. I have the background layer selected here. I'm going to hold my shift key down and select the top layer and you'll see all my layers are now selected. I'm going to click off down here in the bottom of the layers panel to deselect all layers. And then let's say you want to select multiple layers that aren't in a row. And you can do that by holding down your Command or Control key. So I'm going to select my flower image and hold down my Command key and select the levels layer and my flower type layer and then my copyright layer. And I can select skipping around like that using the Command or Control key. Okay, I'm going to click down here in the bottom of my layers panel to deselect all layers. And so that concludes this part of chapter 3. Once again, you'll want to make sure you've saved all your changes. Go up here and select File. And if you have made any changes and you need to save, then Save will not be grayed out. So you can go ahead and click that, or you can hit Command or Control S. And it will save for you automatically as well. Again, this file needs to be renamed 3B in your last name, and it needs to be .psd. Always turn in PSD files unless specifically told something else. Otherwise, your projects and assignments won't be able to be graded because the layers will not be available.